A very good evening and welcome to tonight's edition of Weekend Primetime News. I'm Arundhati Mudannaika. It wasn't quite the fairy tale finish to a stellar career, but Usain Bolt, the world's greatest sprinter, has undoubtedly left an indelible mark on the pages of sport history. For once, Bolt had to see the back of his American arch-rival Justin Gatlin, and in a true display of sportsmanship, both men were gracious in victory and defeat.
Prime Minister vilifies the media again. Why are elections being delayed? A revelation from election observers. Work for drought relief. Startling instructions from disaster management authorities.
And now the story is in detail. 2 miners were trapped when a gem mine in the Godakavela area in Yahalavela caved in this evening. Area residents launched a rescue operation. Our reporter at the scene noted that 6 miners were in the 15-foot deep mine when it caved in. The 2 miners who were trapped were rescued and admitted to the Ratnapura hospital. The All Ceylon Peasants Federation, an umbrella union representing the country's farmers, convened a media briefing on the banks of the Sadasarana Reservoir in Mahavilachia today.
20 kilograms of rice were provided today to the agrarian community of Kiraltatiava in Mahavilachia, who have been unable to cultivate crops. The president of the All Ceylon Peasants Federation, Nama Karunaratne, was also present at the location. The farmers informed the union leader that the Grama Niladhari in the area had instructed them to clear the jungle area around the Kiraltatiava water project in order to receive rice. Look at this, we are people too. Can the elderly clear jungles? It is not an hour's work, this will take days. You shouldn't exploit people in this way. If we do not clear it, they will not give us rice. All this has happened because we had no water. If we did, we could have farmed the land. When Newsfirst made inquiries from the Divisional Secretary of Mahavilachia, E.R. Tilakaratna, he noted that the project was being carried out via the Disaster Management Ministry. He added that the ministry had made it compulsory for the people to work for the relief provided and that a report must be submitted to the ministry on the work carried out.
Now, this is the voice of the people rising up against the rampant corruption in the country.
Newsfirst national campaign, Sri Lanka Free Against Corruption, covered Ambalipitia and Mannar today.
When they have work they can do for the public, they sort out their housing issues, they import vehicles, they steal from the banks. The value is if they do something for the public. We have sent them there. We have to beat ourselves for that stupidity. The people are suffering without food to eat or water to drink. The rulers have taken from us and they are extorting money from the people for their corruption. They said they do not sell drugs. They said they won't sell cannabis. The government is doing things that are worse. Though various ministers said they will put an end to this, they were unable to do this. They are thieves, they are of no use.
Residents of Ganeshpuram, Silapathura, Paraveriyapuram, Arippu, Irane Iluppeyakulam, Mullikulam, Palampiddi, Munnariputturai and several other villages spoke to Newsfirst today.
They say they will give this and that. They take everything. We only have what they give us.
Money is allocated for the roads. Only half is received. The other half is taken by them. That is how corruption happens. The residents of Nanattam spoke of the suffering the people have to undergo as a result of ad hoc actions of the politicians.
The items that were unloaded in the morning are still here. We will have to throw half of this tomorrow. People do not have money. All of them are thieves and robbers. The government is for the rich.
JVP leader Anrukumar Dissanayaka had this to say during a public rally held yesterday.
The people of this country had great hopes on the 8th of January. Ministry secretaries and department heads compiled files and brought it to our office in Palo Alto. This is how Namal Rajapaksa deposited 60 million in Nimal Pereira's account to purchase the Tangol Beach Hotel. Here is the account number. This is how Namal Rajapaksa purchased shares in Hello Corp. This is Basil Rajapaksa's house in Mahabage. These are where Gotabayas and Basil's homes are located in America. All this information was provided. Details on Sajin Vas's properties, Mahindanand Alutgamage's houses, Johnston's liquor factories for which taxes were not paid. All these files were submitted to us. We gathered a team of lawyers, organized the files and submitted them to the Bribery Commission and the FCID and asked them to catch the thieves. The people of this country are now preparing to catch the thieves. While we were preparing to catch the thieves, Ranil was planning a theft of his own. When was this? The 27th of February. The government came into power on the 8th of January. It didn't even take 50 days for them to hit the central bank. They joined with Arjuna Mahendran to rob the central bank. We asked that he be removed and that an investigation be initiated. Ranil Wickremesinghe did not do this. COPE commenced an investigation. Ranil's battalion was sent to COPE. Sujiva Senasinghe was not a member of COPE. The sitting member was removed and Sujiva Senasinghe took that seat. From the beginning, Harsha De Silva and Ajit P. Pereira took the position that there was no scam. They said the COPE committee were rogues. A gang of thieves who stole the people's property are governing the country. Do you think they will be punished? Don't believe it.
Why is there a fear to hold elections? Election monitoring bodies expressed these views regarding the matter.
The leadership of the United National Party is in turmoil because of the bond scam. There is a huge possibility that the Prime Minister, former chairman of UNP Malik Samaravikrama and the General Secretary of the party Kabir Hashim will be brought before the Presidential Commission of Inquiry on bond issuances. They have a need to create an atmosphere where they have to delay elections as long as they can. To do that, they are trying to table the 20th Amendment in the Parliament, the amendment where the election map will be redrawn. When the 18th Amendment was brought in, though Ranil Wickremesinghe objected to it nominally, he did not act to rally the people against it being approved in Parliament. That was to save his position as opposition leader. We cannot say whether Mahinda Rajapaksa, Dinesh Gunawardena, Vimal Weerawansa, Uday Gammanpila and the people in that gang will not do the same thing Ranil Wickremesinghe did in the past.
Former President Mahinda Rajapaksa has provided two contradictory statements regarding no confidence motion against Minister Ravi Karanayaka.
Everyone does not need to sign this. When I create a group within the joint opposition, I will not go and cast my vote. I have not voted within the parliament until now. This is a decision taken by the joint opposition. I will go willingly and cast my vote, not only against Ravi but the government as well. You cannot ignore it. This will be the first time I will cast my vote. I think a lot of people will cast their votes. People in the United National Party will also cast their vote.
Mahinda Rajapaksa making a statement to media stating that he has formed a joint opposition group and they have put forward a no confidence motion against Ravi Karanayaka. And he further says everybody need not sign the no confidence motion, but I will not be voting at this no confidence. I have allowed them to initiate this. After a couple of hours at another function in the evening itself, he comes out and says that I am definitely going to vote not only against Ravi Karanayaka but against the entire government. I will be voting. This is like the famous saying in Sinhala, Rare Daniel, Daval Miguel. I think the former president stressed 2 points in this, what I personally feel. One thing, he has accepted today that he has broken a section of the SLFP and taken them out and had formed another group, and he is giving leadership to that has been accepted. All these years he never said that. He said, Tapaksha, I don't know anything about a new party. I don't know whether there is new party formed. But today he is accepting giving leadership to this group, and he says this joint opposition has created this and everybody need not sign, but I will be now voting in the evening. So there is a very famous saying that in Sinhala they say, Where Daniel, Dawal Miguel. Or whether the former president was drunk when he initially told that he will not be voting. Is a big question the public wants to know.
On to one of our headline-making stories. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe expressed these views at a meeting held in Hatton today.
We have confirmed the freedom of information. Has there been such a free and open society? Sirasa always criticizes me. I have never gone and set it ablaze. They wrote me a letter and asked me whether I could increase the number of hours per day by 1 so they can criticize me even more. I am planning on sending a letter after I refer this to the Ministry of Home Affairs. We have such freedom in this country.
We do not need 24 hours as claimed by the Prime Minister. A 22-minute news bulletin is time enough to divulge the truth. While the Prime Minister points fingers at the media, the entire nation is now aware of the losses caused to the nation through the bond scam. Together with his friend Arjuna Mahendran and son-in-law Arjuna Aloysius, a loss of 1.6 billion rupees was caused within a matter of minutes. According to the report of the Auditor General, the Employees' Provident Fund, which is supposed to be a boon for the working people upon their retirement, lost 12.5 billion rupees as a result of this scam. The bond scam will result in the people of this nation losing billions of rupees over a period of 30 years. When this scam first came to light, the Prime Minister acted to appoint a committee comprising of 3 party lawyers. While protecting his friend and continuing to maintain him at the helm of the central bank, the Prime Minister even sought to justify this scam in Parliament. It's pertinent to note here that Minister Ravi Karunanayaka's daughter questioned on social media recently why her father is being singled out when there is a much larger group involved. Anti-corruption organizations and political parties have consistently maintained that other individuals who were part of the initial meeting that led to this scam must be investigated. In addition to thieving the funds of the people, attempts are now being made to collect their private electronic data through friends appointed to the Information and Communication Technology Agency, or ICTA. These endeavors are being undertaken even disregarding the laws of the land. While revelations of corruption continue to come to light, a scheme was hatched to control the media under the guise of the 19th Amendment to the Constitution, but this was prevented by timely action in court. Following this failure, a fresh ploy to censor the media is underway in the form of the Independent News Media Standards Council Bill, which they are hoping to present to Parliament. While the people have been overwhelmed with poverty, friends and henchmen of the Prime Minister are being used to rob the country blind. A merciless drought has prevented farmers from growing crops for 4 seasons now. Couldn't the money stolen through the bond scam have been used to provide relief for them? A sum of close to 77 billion rupees was allocated for education through the 2017 budget. Of this, just 500 million rupees was allocated to develop the infrastructure of our schools. It could cost, for example, just 10 million rupees to construct school buildings for the students of the Kandakulyame Public School and the Sidradri Mata School in Kalpitia. If the funds stolen through the bond scam were still available, how many such students would have had a roof over their heads in school? While more than 70,000 people in Sri Lanka suffer from chronic kidney disease, imagine how many water purification projects could have been initiated, giving clean drinking water to hundreds of villages, thus saving thousands of innocent Sri Lankan lives. But instead of giving the people water to drink, those who were behind the bond scam were allowed to build liquor distilleries, Adding insult to injury, rice that could have been used to feed the hungry was instead used to distill alcohol. While corruption is seemingly institutionalized, the promised National Audit Bill is gathering dust in the Prime Minister's office. If this bill is put to Parliament and adopted, it will give the Auditor General the power to recover from the bond scammers what was stolen from our nation. Who is being protected through the continued delay of adopting the National Audit Bill? The people will also not forget the attempt to deceive them through the Colombo-Kandy Expressway project, the mythical Volkswagen factory, the Horona tire factory, and the Total Pay National Payment Platform scam. As the extent of corruption in the country is being exposed, the Prime Minister's gripe with the media seems to be growing. Yet his 29 election defeats are testimony of the people's opinion of him. We will not hesitate for one moment to lay before the people information on corruption that is brought to our notice by the people who stand strong against corruption and fraud. We remind you once again that the people of Sri Lanka are not fools. Mr. Prime Minister, the truth is a bitter pill to swallow, and we will not cower in fear, as it is our duty to lay the bitter truth before the people. We have in our possession even more incriminating information, which we will reveal at the right time. Shame on you.
Now, convening a media briefing today, MP Bandula Kunwardhan highlighted a legal flaw with the Jayoda lottery.
The Jayoda lottery ticket has the Ministry of Foreign Affairs printed on it very clearly. On the back of this lottery it states, as per the Monetary Act. So the question the joint opposition has is whether this lottery is legal or not. It is now very clear that through these lotteries, the minister is trying to help Arjuna Aloysius, who is accused of the great daylight robbery. The Bond Commission has asked for information on various companies that Arjuna Aloysius has invested in. One of them is a daily and a weekly newspaper that started printing recently with large production costs. Now the Ministry of Foreign Affairs publishes an advertisement for the lottery board in this newspaper. 1 ticket, 2 lotteries. The country needs to know the connection that has been revealed through Ravi Karunanayaka's Ministry of Foreign Affairs publishing advertisements in the newspaper of a company that is under investigation.
Speaking at an event held today, Minister Dayasiri Jayasekara expressed these views.
How did the UNP come in with this government? They said they were against theft and that the Rajapaksas were thieves. If the Rajapaksas have stolen, then they must be brought forward. They can't keep pointing at them and continue to steal themselves. There is an allegation against Ravi Karunanayaka. It is no ordinary accusation. He cannot evade it by saying that he does not know. Tomorrow or the day after, the Rajapaksas too will say that they don't know anything. They will say they have forgotten everything. The President has said clearly that he has formed a government free of thieves and that he is not prepared to continue to govern with thieves. Learn or depart. That is all we have to say.
The foundation stone for the 438th model village under the Samata 7 Udagamana project was laid today under the auspices of Minister of Housing and Construction Sajid Premadasa.
The village has been named Sadavira Gamini Kularatna village. The village, which is located in Tissamaharama Hambantota, will consist of 20 houses. The Udagamana housing project was stopped in the recent past. It was rejected. Do you know the reason? They stopped the Udagamana project, which gave land to the poor. They started villages instead for their own people. Now they are using the money that they earned to build a people's force to topple the government. Still they are greedy for dollars. When 30 to 40 acres of important land was being given to upper echelon security officers, the people of these areas did not even get an inch of land. Meanwhile, the Yali Pubudana Udagammane was declared open yesterday by Minister Sajith Premadasa. This village, situated in the Siambalandu area in Monragala, consists of 30 houses. The village was built at a cost of 20 million rupees.
Bedroom the bedroom
A memorial oration was held to commemorate the 10th death anniversary of former Attorney General, President's Counsel K.C. Kamala Sabesan.
A distinguished audience, including the Chief Justice, the Minister of Justice and the Attorney General, participated at the event.
So he was a very able counsel, and from the very beginning he displayed his ability as a good orator and leading counsel. I believe that he appeared in the 19th Amendment, which was not presented to the Parliament because it was held, the provisions are inconsistent with the Constitution. 19th Amendment, that was a very complicated bill. He appeared for the state. And in administrative matters, he was very much concerned about the due process of law. He once told me that the public authorities, when making decisions, he must give reason. So he followed that attitude. Instead of saying that there is no requirement to give reason, he believed that administrative authorities should give reason.
Late Mr. K.C. Kamala Sabesan, President's Counsel, whose 7.5-year tenure as Attorney General stands the second longest period of service in that capacity in the history of the last 50 years of the Attorney General's Department. He discharged his duties with distinction and honor. His methodical and meticulous preparation, patience, dedication and hard work always placed him at a higher plateau from where he assisted judges through his admirable court craft to reach just decisions. As an eminent civil lawyer representing the state, he contributed to areas such as law of extradition, constitutional law and administrative law. Late Mr. C.R.D. Silva, the former Attorney General, recognized Mr. Kamala Sabesan as, I quote, a giant of our times. Indomitable in courage, steadfast in purpose, total in commitment, clear-sighted in vision, irreproachable in character, and yet simple in manner. I close quote.
I was not entirely aware of the professional side of my father until I joined the AG's department as an apprentice. It was there that I was made aware of his way of work and was taught by my seniors the ethics and principles he practiced and passed on to his colleagues. He has left behind a lifetime of memories for all of us, along with valuable life lessons. I sincerely hope the foundation has succeeded in keeping his ideals alive, even in small measures.
Former Turkish Prime Minister called on Most Venerable Tibbetwave Sri Sumangala Thera Mahanayaka Thera of the Malwata chapter.
Chairman of the National Media Centre, Imtiaz Bakir Makar, was also present at the occasion.
It was a great honor and pleasure to meet Malwata Mahanayaka, and I came here to have a visit, to give some conferences and to meet also my dear former colleague, Prime Minister, His Excellency Mr. President, and all political leaders. But when I come here, I especially wanted to visit religious leaders as well, because Sri Lanka is a good example of coexistence and dialogue between religions, a good example of peace.
The Velayudam that was brought down from the historic Selvasandi Kovil in Jaffna will be handed over to the Khathragama Devalaya tomorrow. The procession carrying the Velayudam from the premises of the Capital Maharaj Organisation Limited departed this morning.
A special puja was held yesterday at the premises of the Capital Maharaj Organisation Limited, devoted for the Velayudam of the god of Khathragama. The puja was made colourful with South Indian dancers, drummers and other cultural activities. The Velayudam departed to Khathragama this morning following a special puja ceremony. The procession carrying the Velayudam arrived at the Murugan Kovil in Hambantota this evening.
Sharanam.
Another puja will be held tomorrow at 10 a.m. at the sacred grounds of Katragama.
Former US President Theodore Roosevelt once said, "A man who has never gone to school may steal a freight car, but if he has a university education, he may steal the whole railroad." With that thought in mind, here's a once more look at the views expressed by the Prime Minister today on the media.
We have confirmed the freedom of information. Has there been such a free and open society? Sirasa always criticizes me. I have never gone and set it ablaze. They wrote me a letter and asked me whether I could increase the number of hours per day by 1, so they can criticize me even more. I am planning on sending a letter after I refer this to the Ministry of Home Affairs. We have such freedom in this country.
Mr. Prime Minister, the truth is a bitter pill to swallow. And we will not cower in fear, as it is our duty to lay the bitter truth before the people. We have in our possession even more incriminating information, which we will reveal at the right time. Shame on you.
And with that, we wrap up tonight's edition of Weekend Primetime News. Thank you very much for joining us. Good night.